The member for McMahon.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. Can the Treasurer confirm that page 159 of Budget Paper 2 shows that energy payments will cost $284 million? Can the Treasurer also confirm that this morning the government introduced a bill which states that it will cost $365 million, an $81 million blowout in 24 hours? Doesn't this prove that after 6 years of cuts and chaos under this Liberal government, the Treasurer's con job has fallen apart before the ink was even dry on the budget papers?
The Treasurer has the call.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Speaker, it's like being hit with a wet lettuce, Mr. Speaker. It's been like hit with a wet lettuce. Because at the end of the day, what we have done is provide energy support, energy assistance payments to people who need it most, Mr. Speaker. And we have done that from a strong budget position, and we have acknowledged the cost of living pressures that people are under, Mr. Speaker. But I can also tell the House that we have announced a budget surplus, Mr. Speaker, and that when it comes to our previous forecasts, we have outperformed them, Mr. Speaker. When it came to the 16-17 year, Mr. Speaker, we outperformed the forecast in the final budget outcome by $4 billion. When it came to the 17-18 final budget outcome, we outperformed by $19.3 billion. But, Mr. Speaker, when the member for Lilly was running around doing budgets, he actually underperformed his own forecast. Do you know by how much, Mr. Speaker? $80 billion, Mr. Speaker.
Missed it by that much.
Missed it by that much. Missed it by that much, Mr. Speaker. Now, Mr. Speaker, the member for McMahon likes to forget recent history, but let me remind him that after we got elected, he went to the press club and he set some tests for the new coalition government. He did. And one of those tests was that we kept unemployment below 6.25%, Mr. Speaker. Well, I can inform the member for McMahon that unemployment is 4.9%, Mr. Speaker. Now, another test that the member for McMahon said is that we have a AAA credit rating, Mr. Speaker. Well, I can inform the member for McMahon we have a AAA credit rating, Mr. Speaker. And another test that he said a test that we would be in the top 10 countries of the world for economic performance. Well, I can tell the member for McMahon we're in the top 10 countries of the world for McMahon. But now, Mr. Speaker, he also set another test. He did. And that other test that we set a tax-to-GDP ratio of 23.7%, Mr. Speaker. Well, we are, as according to the budget papers, at 23.3%, Mr. Speaker. But you know what? This is the hypocrisy of the Labor Party. Because when they were puffing their chest with their union mates at the National Conference last year, they said there's no need anymore for a tax-to-GDP ratio. Forget a speed limit on taxes. We will increase taxes, and that will have any impact on the economy, Mr. Speaker. So the member for McMahon has no credibility. None. He went to the press club. He said tests for us. We have met those tests, and these are tests that he even won't hold himself to account with. Yeah.